Hey there, Max here, and welcome back for another video. Today we're going to talk about approach anxiety. So I know, I said no editing in those videos, but I kind of liked this one. So in this video, I want to explain how I beat my approach anxiety and how I went from a very shy, kind of socially awkward guy to someone who's not approached, to go up to girls he finds attractive so that you too can do the same. Okay, so I want to give you a little bit of background because, like I said, I grew up being the very uncool kid, and this was not always easy because I was in this loop of negativity. And this is super important because the way you grew up is going to define how you view life and how you view relationships and how you view social interactions with people once you enter your adult life. So for me, particularly, it was not easy. I was the kind of kid in school who's picked last when you have to make teams to play basketballs and such, because I was not popular at all. I was literally the opposite of popular. And so, like I said, this put me in this negativity loop that prevented me from taking risks, because I was already in a very bad social situation. And so any social situation that seemed risky, I was trying very hard to avoid it. And so I mention this because we want to compare it to guys who have it easy when they grow up. For example, you take a guy who's confident because he grew up in a very caring and nurturing family, and his whole childhood, everyone was telling him that he was awesome and that he was handsome. And when he went to middle school, everyone liked him. He was the popular kid. When you're in this situation, you are in a positive loop as opposed to a negative loop. And so when you are in a positive loop, when you grow up, it's way easier to take risks and as a result, get what you want out of your dating life later. So for myself, again, I was in this negative loop, and it was all about getting out of this negative loop. So at the time, I didn't even know I was in a negative loop. So you have an advantage over me because you're watching this video and you're aware of the negative and the positive loops. But at the time, I didn't know. And so through trial and error, which by the way took me forever, this literally took me 10 years, through trial and error, I managed to break that loop to enter from the negative loop into the positive loop. And so in this video, I'm going to explain to you how I did that in my own fucked up trial and error kind of way, because nobody explained this stuff to me. So I wanted to make this video to explain it to you as I wish someone explained it to me when I first started. So the thing is that when you are in this negative loop, you're gonna feel bad, but you have to push through. You have to tell yourself that there is a risk to feel even worse, but that you have to take it. Because among the risk to feel even worse when everyone is rejecting you, to have even more people reject you, well, even if there is this risk, you also have the chance to succeed. And yes, it's a tiny, tiny chance to succeed. But you need those successes because it's this first success that will show you first that it's possible, that success, dating success, can come to you. The first time I successfully approached a girl in the street and started dating her, my mind exploded. I was so happy at the time. I just started dating this girl for 2 years straight. It didn't end very well because I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but at least it showed me it was possible. So this showed me that it was possible to exit this negativity loop to enter a more positive loop. And so I was still hesitant, I was still hesitant meeting girls. For years, I was still in this protection mode. For years, I was so aware of all the negativity I was in terms of my dating life. Basically, I was in such a scarcity mindset that I was super needy. I didn't want more scarcity. I just wanted girls to like me. But this doesn't work. And so I didn't want to take risks. For example, whenever I was talking to a girl, instead of taking the risk to ask her out or to get the fuck off and to talk to other girls, I will try very hard for like days and weeks to get girls to go out on a date with me. Years after now, I realized that if a girl doesn't like you very early, you should just move on, because it's not going to change. Like, most girls are going to figure out whether or not they like you very early. And if she's the kind of girl who needs time before she knows she likes a guy, she doesn't need time. She's just confused and she doesn't know what she's looking for, and she's afraid of liking men quick. Most women, they don't need time to know whether they are attracted to you or not. And so, as a result, there is no point spending time with girls who don't like you, obviously, from the beginning. Now, there are different ways to interpret what I mean when I say girls who like you. We don't need girls to show you huge signs of interest, but that's a topic for another video. My point here is that I was stuck in this situation where instead of going for a higher quantity of girls, I was trying very hard with a small amount of girls, and this is not good. The day I realized that by approaching 10 girls in one afternoon, I was almost guaranteed to get one date for the week, like, my life changed. My brain exploded again. Like, my whole self-improvement journey was a bunch of times my mind got blown. And so I had this shift going from I must avoid getting rejected as hard as I can, and I must try as hard as I can to make it work with every specific girl I talk to. I shifted from this to I should approach as many girls as possible and focus on those who show me interest back, even if that means I'm going to get rejected most of the time. And so once I had this shift of going through rejection and even seeking rejections, like, my dating life exploded. This is, by the way, how you get out of this scarcity mindset. Same works with marketing, by the way. Like, I like how Hormozy says it. I think it goes like, numbers negate luck. Like, if you have a huge amount of leads, if you're talking to a huge amount of girls will go out with you. It's not because you're lucky, it's just because you have a system that works. By the way, if you don't have a system that works to meet girls already, check the link below this video. I will put mine. This is the system I follow. It works very well. Anyways, so it was a little bit difficult to reach that shift, because when you don't have like any kind of success, you don't even know it's possible. So that's why you need to take a lot of action. And I think at the beginning, the biggest difficulty is to make the conscious, proactive decision to be like, okay, I'm gonna go through 100 rejections to give myself the chance, because it's not even sure, to give myself the maybe opportunity to see success. And that's why it's so difficult at the beginning, because you don't even know whether or not it's going to work. But lucky for you, I'm here and I'm telling you, it does work. It does work when you go through the numbers. So I stopped trying to not get rejected. First, like, consciously, I'm not saying it was easy and that it was emotionally agreeable to go through the rejections, but making the conscious decision of accepting that rejection is okay, that you have to go through to see success, was a huge game changer. So I'm not gonna say that right now I have no social anxiety, like, especially like right now this week, I haven't been approaching girls for over a week. And so pretty sure like the next girl I'm going to approach next week, I'm going to feel a little bit anxious when I'm going to start a conversation with her. But that's okay for two reasons. First, the more you approach girls, the more you build this social momentum. And so you focus less on the rejections, because you're approaching too many people, your brain just can't keep up. And also, well, it's just knowing that it works, like, it helps. When you have a few successes under your belt and you know it works, it becomes way easier to go through rejections, because you understand it's just a numbers game. Okay, like 5 girls didn't like you. Statistically, the next few, there's going to be one who likes you. So it makes things easier. And so next thing I wanted to talk about, it's all about making the conscious decision of taking that leap of faith. It's about becoming obsessed with the idea of taking action. And I know this is not a very popular take these days, especially online. Like when you watch YouTube, you have all those manosphere videos that tell you that you should become a high-value male and girls will come to you. When you hear this everywhere, well, first, it feels good to hear it. Like, imagine you don't have success with girls and someone comes to you and he's just like, yo, bro, don't worry about girls. Like, just make money and go to the gym and it's going to be automatic. Like, your success is going to automatically fall on your lap. So I understand it feels good when you hear this. Truth is, I mean, if you yourself watching this video, you are ripped and you make money, you know it that getting girls is not automatic. You still have to proactively go for them. So yes, being successful makes things a little bit easier. It makes things smoother. It gives you a bigger window of opportunity when you start the conversation. But does it make getting girls like an autopilot kind of thing? Not at all. And so you still have to take this conscious decision to go for it. Like I said, after a few approaches, like when you get into the habits of going up to every attractive girl that you see, like you just stop caring and you do it. Like the same with going to the gym, the same with, I don't know, like literally anything. It's just a habit that you have to pick up. The same with when you start a new video game and now this is the new video game that you play when you go back home from work. The same when you watch a new TV show and now this is your TV show for the week. This is your new habit. Well, the same works with girls. Just make it a habit to go for girls that you find attractive, because if you just make it this crazy thing that you do on the weekend when you're with your friends, you're never going to internalize what it is to actually become socially good, like to actually become good with girls. You have to make it a normal part of your life to be the kind of guy who goes through the rejections to sometimes make it work with very hot girls. So that was another big one. Another thing I want to talk about is how when you meet people who actually like you for you and who actually like your personality, the very first time you start dating a girl who thinks you are amazing, it's literally liberating. And so in a sense, it's a little bit getting validation from the outside, which generally you don't want to do because you want to find your own confidence from the inside. But if you're in a position where you never had anyone, well, even teach you that you're worth being in a relationship as a person, like if you, your whole life never had people show you that they feel that you're attractive, which is most likely the case if you have approach anxiety. Well, the first time you're in a relationship like that, the first time you have a great success like that, again, you're gonna get mind blown, and I got mind blown. Like the first time I really started dating a girl who appreciated me for how silly I was, while still staying like attracted and sexual with me, because it's not just about being silly for the sake of being silly, but we are all having this part of silliness inside us that's personal to ourselves. And so the very first time you're gonna find a person who appreciates your personality and this part of silliness inside of you, it's going to be liberating, because you will see that it doesn't fucking matter, like nothing is personal. There are just people who you connect with and people who you don't connect with. And on top of that, you also have to have the social skills to make girls feel attraction for you and comfort, like to have them trust you when you meet them. But also, you have to consider that you're not meant to be with everyone, and that's okay. There are a bunch of girls who are extremely hot, but you couldn't stand their personality, or they couldn't stand your personality, and that's okay. Even if after a few years of doing this, you will tame your personality in a sense that it connects better with other people, and that's how you calibrate things in a sense. But just for the sake of approach anxiety, realizing and like seeing with your own eyes that people can truly love you for you is again liberating. But you only get there when you push yourself to take a lot of action, to go through enough rejections, to first get good at it, and then meet those girls who really like you because you figured how to let your personality shine in the most attractive way. Anyways, that's pretty much everything for today. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time.